Good morning, students. This is the day 6 of our lesson, and we are going to start our lesson with the poem. That is the second poem in our book. The name of the poem is The Kite, and it has been written by the poet whose name is Harry Behan. So, students, just by the name of the poem, you would have definitely got what is the poem about. Yes, it is about the kite. As we know that there are different kinds of kites. They are of different categories, different shapes, different forms. They are found in the cartoon forms. We have seen the dragon kites, etc. Yes, students, especially on the occasion of Makar Sankranti, you would have witnessed while flying the kites with your family on the terrace that there are different categories and shapes of kites. And we love watching them too while flying ours, right? Also, last year, with full enthusiasm, in our school, this day was celebrated, and we all have flown the kites in our big ground in Litra Valley School itself. I hope you all remember it. So, my dear students, we are going to learn more about the kites, how the poet interrelates the kites with the ships, the tides with the winds, and so on. We are going to start our poem with the prior introduction. The name of the poem is The Kite, and the name of the poet, means the one who has written the poem, is Harry Behan. In this poem, the poet has drawn the picture of the kite beautifully with the help of his words. Students, we all love flying kites in the sky, but to our consideration, let us go back to those golden and special days when we had flown kites, when we had enjoyed the moment enthusiastically. Have we ever observed the moves of the kite? Have you ever tried to know how the wind takes the kite and its tail along? No, we never tried to know these. With the help of the further poem, the further lines of the poem which the poet has written, we'll be able to learn about it. Students, this is the poem, The Kite, that is given in your book, and I'll be reading it aloud. You'll be listening to it with full concentration. Then I'll be dealing with the tough words, and after that I will be explaining you the meaning of whole of the paragraph. So, how bright on the blue is a kite when it's new. With a dive and a dip, it snaps its tail. Here the meaning of dive and dip is to rush, to go towards that, to go towards the air. Snaps means move in just one direction with the air sound. Here the poet likes to convey that a kite which looks bright on the clear sky when it flies for the first time there. The kite rushes to fly, that makes its tail to create that sound, and the sound is a bit cracky one. Students, you must have witnessed that the kite moves in the same direction where the air takes it, and so the tail of it. Coming to the second para, then soars like a ship with only a sail, as over tides of wind it rides, climbs to the crest of a gust and pulls, then seems to take rest, as wind falls. Here, students, the first word that is in the second paragraph, soars, that means to move high to the strong wind. Okay. Second sentence, the word sail. Here the sail does not mean the movement of the ship or the boat. Rather, here the sail means the cloth of the ship. You can see in the second picture that is given here. Are you seeing the ship? The triangular shape from top to bottom is the cloth, which is the sail of the ship. Okay. As over tides of wind it rides. That means here the poet is interrelating the tides, which we call the motion of the water, with the wind. Next word is crest. Crest means the mountain top or the top of the air. Gust means the strong wind. Here the poet is conveying that, as the kite moves high to the strong wind, it moves in the similar way as of the ship. When the ship moves up and down on the ocean waves with a sail cloth. Here that is why we are comparing the ship with the kite and tides with the wind. The way the motion of the water, or say the waves, take the ship, in the similar way the wind takes the kite. Climbs to the crest of a gust and pulls, that seems to rest as wind falls. Here we mean that with the sudden blow of the strong wind means the gust which is mentioned in the poem. With the sudden blow of the strong wind, it goes up to the highest point in the sky. But as the wind slows down, it seems as if it has stopped then and there, and the kite has taken a rest there. Students, this is another paragraph of the poem, and we are going to follow the same steps as of the prior one. I'll be reading the poem aloud to you. I'll be making you understand the tough words and the key words. And after that, I'll make you understand what the poet conveys here. When string goes slack, you wind it back and run until a new breeze blows, and its wings fill and up it goes. Here, the word string means the thread of the kite, which we actually hold in our hand to fly it high up in the sky. The word slack means to lose. Breeze means the air. So here, the poet wants to convey that when the thread which is tied to the kite loosens, the flyer who is flying the kite, he runs fast and rolls the thread back to its roller. He waits till a new breeze appears. And when this new air comes, it fills the wings of the kite with air, and again this kite flies high up in the sky. Coming to the last paragraph of this poem. How bright on the blue is a kite when it's new, but a raggeder thing you never will see when it flaps on a string in the top of a tree. So students, here the poet is again saying that a kite which looks bright on the clear sky, when it flies high in the sky for the first time, it looks beautiful. And the word raggeder, that means torn into pieces. Like in the picture it's given, the kite that was flying high in the sky, it got stuck in the tree and it got torn. In the similar way, you just suppose it that you went to the kite shop with your mother. You asked your mother to buy that dragon kite that was there in the shop, and your mother bought it for you. You were very happy. You went to the terrace with your friends. You were extremely happy. You were exultant, flying that kite high in the sky. and all of a sudden you saw that your kite was cut and it fell on the tree. When you ran towards that tree, then you saw that it was torn into pieces. You felt very sad. That is the thing we cannot escape from. The similar thing the poet is trying to imbibe here is, when the flying kite gets stuck on the tree top, it gets torn into pieces, and nobody looks towards that. It is liked by none. So students, let us move towards the glossary. Although we have discussed every word, let's understand, let's learn how to use it in a sentence. Although we have discussed the meaning of all the words then and there in the poem itself, but let's do the recapitulation and let's learn the meanings. The first is dive and a dip. That means to go into the water with a force and softness together, to go deep inside. Snaps. That is a cracking sound. Next is blue. We all know it's the color. Climbs, to go up. Sail, we have discussed it. It means a cloth on a ship or a boat which is used to catch wind and help the boat to propel. Propel means to move forward in a particular direction. Okay, so here in total the meaning of the sail is a cloth on a ship or a boat which is used to catch wind and help the boat to move forward in a particular direction. Next is tides. Means rising and falling waves. Let's say the motion of the water. Crest is the top of the mountain. Slack, to get loosened. Raggeder is torn. Students, you go through the poem, you read it aloud, you go with the pronunciation of each and every word.